We are getting so old.
Welcome to the Ashes to Rubies conversational podcast on life and recovery.
Yeah. Welcome to Friday. You know what? Getting old is trending. Like that's a good thing. If you're getting old, that's good.
Sure.
I think that's the goal is to actually get old.
Getting old is trending unless you're young.
I talked about
If you're young, it's not trending. Until you hit about 40.
If you're not
then
getting
you're like,
old, then
"Oh,
you may be dead.
Getting old is
No,
trending. Everyone thinks oh yeah, no big deal once you're 40.
You know what's worse than getting breathed on? Getting sneezed on. I almost sneezed on you.
100% true. I know.
Have you ever been sneezed on?
Nobody wants to be sneezed on.
I've never been sneezed on, but I would react aggressively. Maybe violently. I don't know, but that would be offensive. I'm doing the reading today.
Why? It's
a
even day.
It's the 28th. Is it?
Yeah. It's my turn.
But what I did do once, and I could not believe that I did this, neither did the person I was with. We were in Starbucks.
Yes.
And we're standing up waiting for a seat to happen. And I took a sip of my coffee and Joe was right in front of me. Like we were like this far apart. Mm-hmm. And I took a sip and it got caught in my third throat. And I was choking, but I tried to hold it in, which made it more explosive. And it was a full mouthful of coffee. And I went, and it sprayed him. And I'm like, he didn't even know how to react. He just was stunned. Like, I think he thought I was joking around, but like no one would joke around like that. Like we're in the middle of a Starbucks and he's like got a full mouthful of coffee on him, sprayed on him. And I'm like choking, like trying not to laugh. He was good about it. He didn't go home. He didn't hit me. He was very mature about it.
That's funny.
Yeah. Have you ever done that? Spit on somebody?
Probably.
It was like a spray though. And he smelled like coffee the whole time. And he doesn't even like coffee. He's a tea drinker. So this is even more offensive. And the whole time that we were working together, all I could smell was coffee. I'm like, wow, you really smell like coffee. Yeah, you don't get those chances back. Like I almost choked, and I was like,
and that was pre-COVID.
So
that was pre-COVID, and it was horrific.
It was pre-COVID. Imagine in COVID.
Oh, you probably couldn't be friends anymore.
Do you ever do that though? I think I might have. I think I do that more often with my throat. Like I swallow down the wrong hole often enough to not be cool. It's not ever cool swallowing the wrong throat, but. All right, here we go. Thank you for joining us. Remember to like, comment, and share. And hey, we're having our Ashes to Rubies, the first Ashes to Rubies show of the month in Ottawa.
Well, we only do one a month.
We only do one of the first one of the year. I meant to say there's going to be some great stories, some great performing arts, and I just want to invite everybody.
Tomorrow, if you're in Ottawa,
7:30 start. Tomorrow. Doors open at 7. Yeah, hit it up. All right. We are going to be reading out of January the 28th is the date. And here we go. This is a contemplative meditation where we take an idea of recovery and expound on it throughout the day. That is what meditation can be. Living with an alcoholic. Have you ever done that? Do you have that experience? May bring us to such a point of desperation. Ever had that experience? That we feel God has abandoned us. Our children are disturbed, debts are piling up, encounters with the police, imprisonment, infidelity, and physical violence may disgrace the family. Mm-hmm. It was stressful to read this in the morning. What can we do? ? We know it is time for action, but what steps shall we take? Our own thinking is so confused that we're in no condition to make decisions. At such a crisis, we should seek impartial counsel from a source of professional help. A clergyman. Am I a clergyman?
You are a clergyman.
I'm considered clergy. A social agency. Am I a social agency? I feel like it sometimes. Or family court. Hey, that's you. But most of all, it is important to use the slogan, let go and let God. Oh, wow. That'll solve all my problems. So good. I'm so glad I read that. For anybody struggling out there living in this situation, that's all they have to do is let go and let God. Maybe we'll talk about what that means. Today's reminder: I know I am powerless to deal with my problem by myself. The more I struggle to work it out, the more difficult it becomes. I know that divine power can deal with matters which are beyond me. I will try to empty my mind of all fear. Here's our quote of the day: God does not deprive us of his love. We deprive him of our cooperation. God would never reject me if I had not first rejected his love. God does not deprive us of his love. We deprive him of our cooperation. That's really good. So let go and let God sounds so simple. But if you're in a tense situation, like if you're in the war zone, number one, it's a war zone. Number two, you're filled with guilt, shame, tension, anxiety, bills not getting paid, the children. You have the load of responsibility, and then buddy doesn't show up. I don't show up for 2 days. I have the car. I'm doing withdrawals out of the bank, etc.
And I think it just builds and builds and builds until, and we spin out.
I like what it says here. Our own thinking is so confused that we're in no condition to make a decision.
Yeah.
So then but there's the tension. So now I'm going to people to get advice. This is what somebody could be hearing. I'm going to people to get advice to tell me what to do about my situation.
Right.
Is that wrong?
Well, I think that we look to other people to solve our problems for us, and they can't.
So they are this book is guiding you to professionals.
And then for me, at the end, so my friends abandoned giving me advice because I wouldn't follow it anyway. I had very little friends left at the end. Really, I mean, not because, they just didn't know what to do. What do you do? Like when someone keeps repeating the same stuff over and over and they're like, okay, you need to get out of there. Like leave that guy. Why are you staying with him? And so they would just see like this repeated pattern for so long.
Yeah. And you're just making your bed, so sleep in it. I'm sick of dealing with your drama.
And then when I got honest with my family doctor, and then I actually started seeing a therapist through work. Like we got 6 free sessions through work with EAP or whatever that's called. And then I spoke to like someone else who ran like an addictions awareness organization, like what do they call that? A social agency. Thought. And all of them, each individually within a few weeks of each other, said, you're not safe.
Okay.
Your children are not safe.
So stop there. So it says, I'm too confused. The person is too confused and in no condition to make a decision.
Yeah.
So what we are telling you to go to a professional. So if they are a trained professional, we are trained not to tell you what to do, but to point out your situation. So the situation, they all said the same thing. You are in an unsafe situation.
Yeah.
What do you want to do about it? But if I'm here...
No, family doctor was a lot more direct than that. But he's a professional.
But we're not... But any professional is trained not to give advice.
The family doctor...
And tell you what to do.
The difference was I had children, right? And so they said, you have children. And so I will need to... Like, if this gets worse, like, I'll need to report this. Because...
Yeah, but they're not telling you... Yeah.
Oh.
But here's the thing.
They didn't tell me what to do.
They're not telling you what to do. And so many times the people that are so close are always telling you what to do or what not to do or how to change the situation or how to control their drinking or whatever it is, or here, move out over here, move in with me. And if we're taking responsibility for the other person's actions, then it can very well backfire both ways.
Right.
One, it works and now they're dependent on you, or two, it doesn't work. And either they're coming back to you hating you because you've changed their whole life and you made them move out and you did all these extreme things and it didn't even work. So now the advice giver is to blame. So when they're pointing the situation to a professional, the professional should be trained to point out the stuff and go like, this is what's happening. This is the reality. And here may be some possibilities and options that you can do. Here's some numbers that you can call. Here's a shelter. Here's a safe families. Here's CAS. Here's whatever it is. I think that's a great opportunity to actually implement the slogan, let go and let God. Mm-hmm. Because at least you're not doing it, but there's trained professionals, and God can guide your path a lot easier if you're not in cooperation. That's really good. Tough situation. We've been there. We've lived it. Mm-hmm. It's horrible. We got through it. Know that by the power of God and his grace and his love, every situation can be brought to life. And sometimes things have to die to be made live again. So there might be some situations that you have to get out of, that you have to be rid of, but just know that it's not the end of anything. But if you say stuck in addiction, that could definitely be the end of a lot of things.
Let go and let God.
Let go and let God
is a great slogan. The other slogan that that really made a big difference for me back then was, when nothing changes, nothing changes.
Very good. All right. We'll leave you with that. Keep the peace, be of good behavior, and see you Saturday.